Okay, you came back for more, so I hope you're doing well. Arcs, sectors, yeah, don't you just love it? I mean, this is the good stuff. This is the stuff on day one of school that you wished you could have gotten into in geometry, right? We're dealing with circles. Yes, no proofs or theorems. All right, it's not all happy. All right, let's look at what we have here. I need to calculate this angle measure, and what I have to work with is the length of the radius and the length of this arc, this minor arc here. So to begin with, here's what I'm going to need to do. I'm going to need to find the circumference of the entire circle. Just like we did in the last section of problems that we did, the circumference of the circle equals 2 times pi times the radius. So it equals 2 times pi times 4. And that is 2 pi 4, 25.13, so 25.1 inches. Now our ratio. Yes, we still need a ratio. And that's going to come from, this time we know the arc length and we know the circumference. Both of those are linear measures. That's what we're going to use for our ratio. So 4.1 over 25.1. See if it reduces. 4.1 divided by 25.1. Math, enter, and, well, yeah, 41 over 251. See what it did is it justified this fraction by multiplying the top and the bottom by 10 to take the decimals away. So here's our ratio, 41 over 251. Well, how's that going to help us? Well, now we're going to have to calculate the area of this circle. It's pi times radius squared, so pi times 4 squared. Pi times 4 squared equals 50.3. And that's inches squared. I'm going to take this area for the entire, actually, I've already steered you wrong. Sorry. You don't need that. Forget that. Got our ratio. An entire circle is 360 degrees. So the angle measure of our sector is going to equal our ratio times 360. That's going to give us the portion of the circle that sector is. So 41 divided by 251 times 360, 58.8. I'm just going to round that up to 59 degrees. That's the measure of this angle right here. 59 degrees. Please forgive me for doing this area. I'm thinking about the next assignment on the other side of this sheet. Now let's try that again. Here's another circle. Here's a radius. Here's an arc length. So the circumference of the circle equals 2 times pi times 5 equals 31.4, or we'll just call it 31.4 centimeters. Here's the measure of the sector's length. So our ratio is going to equal 15.3, the part over the whole, over 31.4. And we'll see if that reduces. 15.3 divided by 31.4. Math, enter. 153 over 314. That's our ratio. Now the angle of the sector equals 153 over 314 times 360. The ratio times the whole circle. And the good thing is, if you've got this in your calculator right here, all you have to do is put times 360 enter. Except we don't want a fraction. All right. So 153 divided by 314 times 360. 175.4. 175.4 degrees. That's how much that angle is right there. That makes sense because if we drew this straight across, that would be a diameter, which is 180 degrees. All right, another one. So first we find the circumference of the circle. 2 pi r is going to be 2 times pi times 7, and that equals 43.98, so 44 meters. Our ratio equals 11 over 44 equals 1 over 4. So our angle of the sector is going to be 1 over 4 times 44. And that's going to equal 360. Oh, Mr. Mackey's having a bad day here. Bear with me. 1 over 4 times 360. We're looking for angle measure. So 1 divided by 4 times 360, 90 degrees. This is 90 degree angle here. Okay. Find the circumference of the whole circle. Find the ratio by taking the sector length, the arc length, divide it by the entire circle, the part over the whole. Get your ratio, multiply that times 360. That gives you your central angle measure. Finding the angle measure with the arc area. So you don't know the length of the arc, but what you do know is its area. So what is the angle that made that? Since we have a measure for area, it's the area of the circle now that we need to calculate, what I was thinking of earlier. And the area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. So for this circle, it's pi times 2 squared, which equals 12.56. So 12.6 centimeters squared. All right. This is the area of the whole circle. Here's the area of the sector. We're going to use those two measures to get our ratio. The part over the whole, and that's going to give us the ratio 10 divided by 12.6, math, enter, 50 over 63. Okay, 50 over 63. So an entire circle measures 360 degrees. We need 50 63rds of that. So our angle measure for the sector is going to be 50 over 63 times 360. So 50 divided by 63 times 360. $285.7. I know it doesn't look like that. Degrees. So if the whole circle has an area of 12 and this angle takes up 10 of those 12, then it's a really, really big angle. The picture doesn't look that way. You have to trust the math. The answer is 285.7 degrees. Right, here we go again. We have an area of the sector. We have a radius. So first we find the area of the circle, pi r squared. Pi times 5 squared, which equals 78.5 inches squared. Now we use that to get our ratio, the part over the whole. So our ratio is going to be 18 over 78.5. So 18 divided by 78.5, math, enter in. 36 over 157. Our angle is going to be 360 times that ratio. So the angle of the sector equals 36 divided by 157 times 360. 82.55, so we'll call that 82.6 degrees. Well, just like last time, it is possible to combine these two formulas into one. It takes calculating the area of the larger, or the circle, and multiplying it by this ratio. Okay. So what we are doing in essence is we're taking the area. It's being divided by the entire circle. The area of the entire circle times 360. Let's see if we can do that here without having to do all these steps. Right, so the area of the sector is 18. And it gets divided by pi times radius squared. So pi times 5 squared. And then that gets multiplied by 360. I'll type all that in my calculator at the same time. I have to use parentheses. Okay. Pi times 5 squared. And that gets multiplied to 360. 82.5. I'm off just a hair. So if we use that way of thinking down here, it's going to be the area of the sector, so 83, divided by pi times the radius squared times 360. And of course I will have to put This in the parentheses here, and put this fraction in parentheses when I type it in the calculator. So 83 divided by pi times 7 squared times 360. 194.1 degrees. 194.1 degrees. Let's see if I get that same thing doing the separate calculations. So first I find the area of the entire square. That's pi r squared. So pi times 7 squared equals 153.9. The area of the circle equals 153.9 meters. My ratio, the area of the sector divided by the area of the entire circle, 83 divided by 153.9, math, enter, enter. 830 over 1539. So my angle of the sector is going to be my ratio times 360. $194.2. I got 194.1 there, 194.2 here. That's close enough. It works. So whichever method that you want to use, go ahead and use it. Please excuse my fumblings during this. I'm trying to think about 3 or 4 things at the same time. But anyhow, this is what your work is going to look like. You can do it. Just take your time. I round it to the nearest whole number if you need to be able to do these, but you can do these. I'm counting on you. Give me a call if you have problems. Thanks. Bye.